working as a Hadoop big data developers. So coming to my recent project flow, I've been working in like excessive
So
ranking
basically,
lake.
I was
So
actually working as a
I've
big
been
data
working
Hadoop
over
developer
there
and
like as
working
a
on the
Hadoop
various
big
kinds of
data
things inside that for the
developer
application
and
and trying
working
to work
on
on
like
the
the
Scala
various
and the
Sorry, I
Hadoop
couldn't
logs.
hear you actually. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Looks like there is a lot of disturbance.
can you check your signal? I have full signal.
Uh, Maybe could you please speak a little louder?
So basically, I've been actually
Oh,
working as a big
so
data developer
basically,
with the Express scripts in the
I've been
Franklin
working
Lakes,
as a
New
big
Jersey,
data
and I was
Hadoop
actually working
developer.
for transforming
So in
large
my
and
current
unruly
project,
data sets into
Expressip
competitive
in
advantages
Franklin Lake, New Jersey,
and trying
I've
to
been
work on
working
top of
like
that for the
transforming
application
the
level
large
stuff and also
and
doing the
really
data
data sets
analysis and
to
application level stuff
competitive
and also working on
advantages,
the
and
Spark
also trying to work on
RDD
top of
and
that, like
it
on
does
the
it in this
application
case for
level
the
stuff, and
applications.
also
And
like
apart from that,
doing
I was also responsible
data
for
analysis
doing the
and
data
that, and
analysis and
also like
working on the
working on the
Hive
Spark
UDF, and I was
RDD,
also
and
responsible
it
for
is
the
in the
Spark
case of
streaming
application.
applications,
Apart from that, like
and
I was
also responsible for
also
how we can do
responsible
the
for
various kinds of
like
dev testing for the
now
application
doing
and
the data
utilizing it in
analysis
this
and
case for the
working
analysis
on
of
like
the data and trying to use that on
now,
the
and also
various kinds of
responsible for
stuff in this
Spark streaming
case
applications, and
for the
also
application level
responsible
integrations and
for
deploy that. And
how we
apart
can
from
do
that,
various
also
kind of
responsible for
adaptation
the
of this
server side
application and utilize it in this case
scripting
for
in
the
this case for
analysis
the
of the data,
application,
and trying to use RDD
and
on various kind of
also
stuff
responsible
in
for
this case of
how we
application
can do
level
the various kinds
integration,
of application
and
level
also apart
integrations
from
and
that,
utilize
also
it in this
responsible
case
for the
for
server
the
side
application
scripting, and
environments, and
also
also for
like
the server side
case of
scripting in
application,
this
and
case,
also
and
I
also
have
try
been
to create
responsible
the
for like
various kinds of
how we can do
orchestrations and
the base in the application
deployments
level
on the third-party
integrations,
environment
and it is
servers
in this case of
and create the
application, and
application level
the
stuff
server
in this
side
case
scripting
and get
in
the
this case, and
approvals,
also try to create
and
various
also
kind
how
of
we could do
optimization and
the
deployment,
automation and
continuous
deployment
integration,
orchestration in
deployment
this
on all
case
the third party
and release
servers,
them
and
in a
also like
custom
creating
environment
like
specific
application level
manner
stuff,
so
find the
that there
case
is no
and get the
problem in
approval,
this case. And also
and how we can could do the automation and deployment automation in this case and release them in the custom environment and specific, and I would like to say in this case.
Oh, okay. So I would be actually asking questions mainly related to Java, Scala,
Okay.
Spark,
Okay.
SQL,
Okay.
little bit
Okay.
Ruby, and Spring. I don't know actually. I didn't notice. Have you worked on Spring?
yes, I have been actually
Sorry.
working on the Spring and the Spring Boot and
Spring,
also the
Spring.
Spring
Yes,
IOC
I have
container in
good
this case,
experience
which I was
working
actually
on Spring
working
and
on
Spring Mode, like
and utilizing
also
the
like
Spring
on Spring
IOC
IOC
container and also
content in
working
this
on how
case,
we
and
can do the
actually
various
working
kinds of
on
stuff
like
inside that for the application level
learning
integrations and
the
trying to
Spring
work on the
IOC, and
learning of
also
the
working
That's
application
on
okay. That's
environments.
okay.
yeah.
And
So I think I will ask you questions regarding that.
Okay.
So let us say suddenly we are triggering, let us say, job through Uzi or Spark, and that job runs really now slow.
Okay.
So what would be your approach towards
so basically, I would like to say
troubleshooting
that
that problem?
if the Uzi
And if
job
there is any
becomes
performance problem, how you will try to
slow,
fix
what
it?
we will do in this case is actually go ahead and try to look at the
Okay.
coordination of the
So
materialization in this case,
basically,
and we'll actually have the
I would
tests
like
of
to
the
say
Spark
that like
transformation of the CPU
when this
and the
becomes
memory
slow,
as well
like
as the disk,
what
and
we'll
then
do in this
the
case
same
is
amount of data will be
actually
actually used
go
in this
ahead
case
and
and
try
handle the
to
data
look at the
and shut down
coordination
the cluster in
of
order to
the
upgrade the network cards
duration,
to higher
in this
level
case like and will
gigabit and also the
actually
job
have
metrics in
the
depth,
test of
and
the
then let
Spark transformation
look at the
of
garbage
CPU
collector
and the
and check and
memory
read some
as a disk,
Impala tables
and
and
then
create
like
some other
the
things
same
like
amount of the data will be
narrow down
actually
where the
used in
cluster
this
should be
case,
actually
and
losing the CPU and the
have the
cluster
data
memory,
and share in the
and
cluster
then
in
try to
order to
utilize that on the
upgrade the
real-time
network cards
integration environments
to
and try
high
to work
level
on the
gigabytes,
high-level
and also the
integrations and work on top
job
of that for
metrics
the
in the depth,
application, and
and look at the
try to create the
look at
various
the
kinds of
cluster and check
maps and
the
integrations, and
for
also work
tables,
on the
and
stage
like read some
for
of
the service,
the things like to narrow
and
down
also
the cluster,
create the data frame
and
and
to see actually
cache the data frame, and
looking
also
at
look at the
cluster
actions
memory
which
and
can be used
trying
for
to
the
like
slowness of the
you like
job.
the like real-time integration environment center at work, and also like high-level integrations and work on top of that application, and trying to create like a various kind of maps and integration that should work like in the page of service of the data frame and capture data frame, and also like look at the action like which we use like for the slowness of the job.
Can you explain how shuffling happens?
So basically, coming to the
So
shuffling,
I
I
have a
would like to
master
say
node
that if you have a
Mm-hmm.
master node,
and I have let us say,
Master node and
worker nodes.
okay.
Okay. So what are the options? What are the operations that will trigger shuffling? And what
so
really
basically,
happens
shuffling
during
is the
shuffling?
process by which the data in
Okay.
the master node
So
will actually
basically,
intermediate data
shuffling is a
mappers are
process
transferred in this case, and each reducer
which
receives
the data
one
in the
or more
master node
keys
will
and
actually
associated with the values
intermediate
depending on the reducers. So
master transfer
basically, I
in
would
this
like to
case,
say
and
that
if
shuffling is
reducer
the
receive
process
one
of
or more keys
transforming the
and
mapper to the
associated
reducer. So I think it
ways
is
depending
obvious
upon
that
the
it is
reducers.
necessary
So basically, I would
for
like
the
to say that
reducers, and since
shuffling
otherwise
is
they would
the
not be
process
able to
of
have any
transforming
input,
the
and
data and
shuffling can
reducer
start even before the map
so
phase
that
has
So
finished.
which way?
And
Data will go which way? Data will go which way? Will it
so
go from master
it will
to
go to the
worker node?
master to the worker node and then to the reducer, and then the reduce phase will be there. And apart from
basically
that,
it
you
will
also
go to
have the
the master to
copy
the worker
phase,
node,
which is
and
used,
then
and the shuffling and sorting are not
the
performed at
reducer
all if you specify
will be there.
zero
Apart from
reducers
that,
in this case.
also you'll be having
For
the
the application
which is
level
used in
integrations,
the
I would like
shuffling
to
and
say.
sorting, and not perform all the cases reducers in this case of application level stuff.
No, but what really happens actually? Let us say I have group of user IDs, okay, and every user ID has, let us say, 100 plus records. If I want to invoke a shuffle, what will be different operations
So basically, what would
that will
happen in
invoke
the
shuffle,
shuffle is that you have the offset, which is
and what
actually
will
used in
happen
this
during the
case, and you
shuffle?
have the sort and the shuffle. So basically, the
In
input will
interest of
actually go to
time,
the
please be
mapper, and then
specific, okay?
we'll
Because we
actually
just
have the
have
copy phase, and then we'll have the
okay.
input, which will be split, and then there will be a
So
map,
Just
which will
don't
be
mind actually
combined
if
into
I'm
a shuffle
interrupting you,
and
because
sort,
in interest of
and
time,
then the
just I want to
task will
cover
go
number of
the mapper
technologies.
in this case,
okay. So basically,
in the
what will happen in
Spark,
the
what will
shuffling
happen
is
is
that
that
you'll be
shuffling
having
is the
which is
process of
actually used in the
redistributing
case
data
of
across the
sort
partition
and
that may
shuffle.
or
So
may not move
basically,
across
I
the
can say
Java virtual
input
machine. So in this
which
case,
should
what
go
will
onto
happen
the
is,
map, and then we
you have
will
the
be having
reduce
I
key
should
and the
do
group by key, and then
a
you
copy
also
paste,
have the
and then
pair
I will
RDD, which
have
offers the joint
input which
transformation
is
that
straight, and then
ports
they
the
will be
official
having
thing in this
map
case, and it will go
which
from
will
one
be
stage to the
combined to
other,
that and
and
sort
then utilized on top of that
then
in
I
terms
can say
of the
the
executing
task
of the
flow matter in
joined
this case, and
count in
spark
this case, and then specify
which
the
will happen in the
RDD
shuffling in the process
lineage
of this
graph, which will be running
which is the
there, and then
data
specifying
across
the
the
various kinds
partition
of things
and
in this
near
case,
to more
and
like
use it in terms of the
Java
application
virtual
level stuff,
machine.
and
So in
then the
this case,
Java virtual machines will be
what will
used on the
happen is
servers.
it will reduce it to the group by, and then you also have like a
Also
pair
use the
RDD which
shuffle
offers a
reader for the application
join
integration, then also
transformation
define the
that goes,
join,
and
and also work on
you'll
the
be in this case,
transformations to the
and also
trusted
you'll be go on
partners
to
in
that
this case.
and other
So we can specify the
analyze on
JVM
the top
process,
of
and then
that in
also
the
go
terms
ahead and
of
use the ETL
execution of the
processing tool in the production
jointed one,
scenarios in the term of the
and in this case,
shuffling.
Not really
and
getting
also
it.
we'll be having, sorry.
Sorry, I'm not getting actually. That is why I said that just specific actually. I don't need details. Please be specific.
So basically, the data will go
Because
from
I'm
the
not really
master to
getting
the
it. This
slave, and
finding it
then I would
really
like
very
to say
hard to
that the partitions will be created in the map
so
task
what are the
and the
operations that
output
could trigger
file.
shuffle? Or we can move to actually next.
And
I
apart
think
from that,
you
the
also answered that.
hash-based shuffle will
So
be there, which will
Yes, yes.
what are the
consolidate the
operations
shuffle
that will
writer.
trigger
And
shuffle?
then we will also use an aggregator, which will be used
What
for
are
the
the
map
operations
task and
to
reduce the
trigger?
task.
That will trigger shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically the operations
Just
which
operation
trigger the shuffle, I would like to say,
Okay.
we
The
are actually
operations
the
which
map
will
and the reduce task, I would like to
trigger
say in this case. So
shuffle
basically in this case, it
shuffle
will actually
like
move across the
the
Java virtual machine.
map and
So
reducer
basically
so that
in
in this
this,
case
what will happen is that the
basically
shuffle operation
I
is
like to
implemented
say
differently in
we'll be
Spark.
having
On the
again
map
a
side, each
Java
map
virtual
task
machine. So
writes out a
basically in
shuffle
which
file
it will
for
happen
every
that
reducer which
trigger
corresponds
shuffle.
to the logical
If I
block,
submit,
and then
will
these
trigger
files are not
shuffle.
intermediary in the
No, I will
sense
be
that
voice
the
is
lesser
not
number
clear.
of mappers and
trigger
reducers have
shuffle or
a
not.
higher
Map
than Hadoop, and then thus shipping the map
will it
files
trigger
to the
shuffle?
respective reducers. And then similar to the Hadoop,
Are you
Spark
asking
also
map
has a
to shuffle?
parameter which is called
Yes.
the Spark Shuffle Compress to specify the compressed
Yeah, like
libraries to compress
shuffling
the
and
map
sorting.
outputs. In this case, each has to be snappy by default,
Okay.
which is the lazy
Let us
folding,
say
and
if
then
I
the
call
reduce
select,
side.
right?
Sorry. Let us say.
If I call collect in my main program,
Mm-hmm.
there is an RDD.
Mm-hmm.
I call collect on that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I call collect on that.
Mm-hmm.
What is
So basically, if you call the collect on
Hello?
the the partial
Yeah,
function,
if I
what will
call
happen
collect
is
on a big
that the
RDD,
collections will have a nifty
Okay.
what
collect
will
which will
happen?
be there, and then the filter map operation will pass a partial function
Okay. So
and
basically, if
then
you call
divide
collect
those as
on
part of the
RDD,
arguments in this case
you're
and
asking
split
what will
those
happen,
for
right?
the internal bound double and the
Mhm.
Okay.
abstraction, and then
In the
specify
case
the
like
scala and
which is
returns it if you
there,
provide
and like
the
the
pattern
filter map
matching and
operation will
collect the
pass a partial
transformations in this
function and
case
then
for the
divide
training is in this case for the
this part
application level integrations
arguments
and
in this case,
specify that for the
like in
arguments.
the internal bound and abstraction, and specify the null and return for pattern matching and collect or transformation in this case for like training the application level stuff integration.
What is collect call?
So basically, I would like to say that
Why do we call collect?
the collect call is actually a function call
So
which is used for
basically,
making the data
the
frame collect, and then
collect
collect
call
action
is
is
like
actually return all the elements
actually
of
a
the data
function
asset as
call
an
like
array
which is
of the
used for
driver program, and
making
then
the
specify the
like
various kinds of
I can
things
say like
inside that.
data
Like
frame collect and then
this is
collect the
usually
action is
useful
actually
after a filter
return
or
all the
another
elements
operation
of
that
the
returns a
data set.
sufficiently small
You
subset of
can say
data.
an array, the driver program, and you can unspecified like the various kind of things inside that this actually usually useful after like filtering the operation that it has like a sufficiently small subset of the data.
Is calling collect a good idea?
Sorry.
I'm asking in other
So
way.
basically, I
Is
would like to
calling a
say
collect
that collect calling
or
is not a
RDD?
good
Is
idea
it a good
because
idea?
in this case, what will happen is there will be an
So
optional
basically,
partitioner for
calling
the key
collection
value
area
RDD, and
is
then
not a good idea
all of the
because like
scheduling and
areas in this
execution
case,
in Spark is done
what will
in
happen
these three methods, I would
is
like
like
to say, and then
there is no
partial matching
option
in
like
Scala can't be
one option
extended
partition
to
of the
create the
key
partial
value
functions, a
RDD,
unary
and
function
like
that doesn't
then like all
support
the
every
scheduling
possible
and the
value that
execution in
meets
the
the
Spark is
input type,
done
and the
in the
partial functions
three
are
methods.
defined only for
Would you
certain
like
amount of
to
input
say?
values.
And also like
For
in the
example, a function
partial.
that returns the
Happen.
square root of the
So just
input
please
number,
do the point. Please be to the point actually.
and
I
then
don't need
inside
those
that we
additional details. I'm just trying to understand
Mhm.
if you are getting actually basic concept.
Okay.
What is the purpose of collect? When I'm calling collect, what happens to memory?
So basically, I would like to say that coming to the collect function in
Okay.
the
Can you repeat
Scala
the question?
language, the collect
When you
function is
calling the collect?
applicable when
Like
mutable and immutable collection data
what
structures, and the
happens?
collect
Which
method
memory
takes a
gets
partial
impacted?
function as a parameter and then specifies
Is
the
it master?
you
Is
can
it
actually use the
executor?
filter map for
What is the
the
impact?
collection and then specify the collect for the cherry pick of all the donut names, and
Okay.
then specify
So
the collect
you are
function on the
asking when you
third
call the
party
collect, what is the
and
impact,
specify
right?
the various kinds of pattern
Mhm.
matching, and then also apart from that
Okay.
use
So
the
basically in that
defined
collect
functions in
function,
this
like
case which are used
actually
on
it's the
the
collect
servers.
function is like applicable like mutable and immutable collection data structures, and like you can say like correct method takes partial function, and also like a parameter that specifies the actual user filter map of the collection and specify the correct of the and all the names and unspecified of the collection function, and like a third party, and specifies the ways that can pattern matching, and then also like use defined functions in this case.
Okay. Java, which Java version you are using? I'm assuming 8 at least.
Your voice is not clear. Hello.
Yeah, same thing actually happening to me as well. Your voice is not clear because I couldn't find a room and I'm calling from my dialing from cell phone. That is actually okay. So that is why I'm saying just speak slow because now I'm missing a lot of important actually aspects, right?
Okay, got it.
Just simply be to the point because I'm getting you but continuously talking, and then I feel that information is not really relevant to my question.
Oh, okay.
So Java 8, have you used functional programming?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the difference between map and flat map?
So basically, I would like to say that the main difference
So
between the
basically,
map and the
the
hash
difference
flat map
between
is
the
that
map and
both
flat
map
map,
and flat map can be
the
applied
main
to a
difference is like
stream, and they return a stream
is
in this
both like
case.
map
And
and
difference
flat
is that the
map
map
that
operation
can be
produces one
applied to a
output
stream, and
for
they
each
like
value, whereas the
return
flat
a
map
stream in
operation
this case,
produces an
and like the
arbitrary
difference
number
is that the map
values for each of the
operation
input value.
produces an output for each value, wherein the flat map operation produces an arbitrary number values for each of the input value.
Is it arbitrary?
No, so basically what
If
happens
I
is that
do a string input hello. I call map on that string, and I call flat map on that string. What would be output?
So basically, I would like to say that in this case, what will happen is that in the Java
If I have a string called
interface has
hello,
map and flat map. So basically, the map
Mhm.
I call
produces
map
one
on
output
that
value
string.
for each of the input streams. So if there is n
Map
elements
X
in
to
the
X,
stream,
Mhm.
map
then map
operation will
flat
produce
map
a
X
stream
to
of
X,
n
let us
elements.
say.
Okay.
And then
So
apart
in
from
this case,
that,
what
in
will
this
happen
case, we
is
will have
like
the
in
usage
this
of
case, like
we can see
the
the
Java
map
interface
operation,
is
then
like
we
a
can have
map
the
and
stream
flat
of
map.
objects,
So
and we
basically,
need to
the
get
map
some unique
produces
value
like
for each
one
element in the
output, like
stream,
a
and this
value
is
like for
one-to-one
each of
mapping
the
between the
importance
input
of
and
this.
output element.
In any
For
elements of
example,
the
we can write a
stream map
program to find the
operation, like
date
will
of birth
produce a
for all the
stream of
employees
10
in a stream
elements,
of employees, and then
and
in
like
case of
then
flat map,
apart from
one-to-many
that,
mapping is created where
sorry.
we have the input stream.
See,
We
I
will
am
first
asking you
get
specific
multiple
questions
values,
and I'm
and then we
expecting the
flatten the
specific
values
answers.
from
Okay,
all
I
such
don't need
input
additional
streams into
details unless
a
I
single
ask.
output stream. For example, we
Okay,
may write a program to
Mhm.
find
what
all
is
the
the
distinct
if
words from
I
all the
give hello
lines.
as the string,
And then
I
inside
call
that,
map on that,
we can
and
use
I
the
call
flat map for the
map on that.
application level stuff on the
Mhm.
What is
third-party
the output?
environments. And then I would like to say that the flat map operation takes a function that conceptually wants to consume one value and produce an
I'm
arbitrary
not
value.
getting your
And then
question.
in this case, the Java, it's a
I am
cumbersome
saying
for.
that hello is a string.
So basically,
On hello
it is
string,
cumbersome
I am
for a
calling map
method to be
operation.
able to,
I am calling flat map operation.
imagine the API which will be using the
Okay.
mapper
What
function
would
for
be
flat
output
map,
in
which
first
it
case?
takes a value
What
and
would be
returns
output
an
in
array,
second case?
which are then sent to the output. And given that this is a
Okay.
streams library, a particular
So
way to
basically,
represent
in
a
this
arbitrary
case,
number
like
of return values in the
when
mapper
say like
function
the API
to
is
be
the
used
map
that.
of the function for the map flat, takes a value and return an array. Like
I don't need additional details. All I'm asking is ask you a specific question, right?
mhm.
If you don't know, we can move to another question.
No, I'm not getting your question. It's like your voice is not
I'm
clear.
saying that input is hello. Because I don't know actually how easily I can explain. All I am saying your input string hello.
Okay.
On that string you are calling map operation. On the same string, on first line you are calling map operation, print it. Second line call flat map operation, print it. What would be output in first case?
So
What would be
basically, I
output
think the
in
print
second case?
operation will actually print the string in this case, because the flat map will actually use the lowest possible iterations on the real-time integration environments, and then you can
Okay.
actually use those
Okay.
operations on
So
the custom servers,
basically,
and then specify
in
those
this case, like a
as part
map
of the
and flat
application,
map
and
can
then the
be
maps can be used
applied
in
to the
this case,
streams,
and
and they
then you can
both
actually
like
use
have
them as
written.
part of the application, and then the
So
I
here,
details
don't need
can
output.
be
I don't need
specified
explanation.
on
I
those,
don't
and then
need
you can actually
explanation.
use the
All I'm
explanations. In
asking
this case, is
what
the
is the output? Just output of one is this, output of two is this.
so I can say like
you can
the
tell me
flat
output,
map
I know you
provides the
understand the
values like basically it's hello and Euler.
What is hello and?
So basically, in the
Euler.
first one, it will actually print hello,
Euler.
but in the second one, it will print it in the reverse order, because that is how the whole thing will be actually
What is second
used in
one?
this case for the
So basically,
setup
in
of
the
the whole
first
thing,
and
I would like
second
to
one,
say. So both of
use
them will actually
case
have
for
the
the
same
setup
thing,
of like whole
and then
thing.
run it on the cloud level
So both
environments,
of
and then
them
that's how
will
the whole thing
actually
will be
have the
kind of
same
created
thing.
in this
So
case, and specify that as
that's
part
how
of the
like
application.
environment, the
So we'll
whole thing
actually
gonna
use
be
these
kind
as
of
part of
created
the
in this case.
application, and then specify those on the custom
We
environments.
can move to actually the next question.
Hmm.
Have you seen null pointer error in Java?
Yes, I've been actually using the null
Null
pointer
point.
error in the Java, and I've been actually using
Null
the null
pointer in
pointer for
Java.
the application, and use this for the
Yes,
custom
basically null
integration.
pointer
So I was
in
actually
Java
using it
is
for the
like
null pointer and
doing
using
like
it in terms
the
of
null
the,
point of the application, like
and then get the various kind
basically
of
uses for
out
the
of memory error.
customer integrations
And
of the
also this will
application.
be like used for throwing an application
So
that
it's
needs to
like,
use the
That
object
Java has
reference.
pointers? No, right?
sorry.
That Java has pointers.
Yes, Java has the pointers, and then
Java.
apart from that, these are not
Does Java
accessible
support pointers?
to the user. So pointers and array in the C++
Can you
is there,
hello?
and then
Does Java support pointers?
Java does not support
Pointer.
pointer, and there
So
is
you
no
are
pointer
asking does
support. Make the
Java
Java
support
more secure,
pointers?
because they point to a memory location,
Yeah.
which is the
No,
security,
like
which will not
Java
have the
does not support
access to
pointers
that specific memory level integrations in this
because
case.
like
So my question is, why
mhm.
does it throw the null pointer exception?
Because
Your
it is
question
not
is?
accessible to the user. So basically what happens
Why
is,
does
if the Java is,
null pointer exception?
so basically,
Why
the
does
Java
null
null
point
pointer
exception?
exception will come because it's a runtime exception. So basically, a
Okay,
null
so
value can be
basically,
assigned to an object reference. So
yeah.
it is like
So
Will be
basically,
running
null
on
pointer is thrown when
yeah.
the application
So
attempts to
I
use
basically,
the
will get null
object.
pointer.
sorry.
So basically, the
yes, that
exception
is the
thread will
difference,
occur in
right?
the instance, and then
Engagement
that will
pointer
actually run
exception.
on the
Although there are no
calling the
pointers in
length of
Java.
the array. In this case, I would like to say.
Okay. So basically, Java null pointer exception, like it will become because like the runtime exception. So basically, null value can be sent to an object reference. It is like and also like response. Like when the application attempts to use the job. So basically,
And then we
exception
can actually
side
have
will
the array,
open the
which is
instance, and
actually
then
null
that
in this case, and use the
actually
Java
run on
null
calling
pointer
the
exception
length
using
of
the
the array.
JVM
In this case,
exception thread. And then
like to
apart from
say.
that, you can specify the Java null pointer exception in this case.
Okay, SQL, how comfortable you are?
I'm very much
SQL, I am
comfortable
very
with
much very
the,
comfortable.
Okay. So let us say if I have a table, the
Mm-hmm.
table has 3 columns,
Mm-hmm.
and I create a composite index on that.
Sorry, you want to?
Okay. Create a composite index on 3 columns. I have A column, B column, C column. So I
Mm-hmm.
create a composite index on 3 columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I use different combinations like A, AB, A plus B plus C,
Mm-hmm.
A, C, B, C. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me which combinations it will use index and where it
So
was
basically, you will be using the index on the fields A, B, C, and the records will be sorted first on A and then
So,
B and then C.
can
So
you repeat the
composite
whole question once?
indexes
Sorry.
work just like the
So
regular
you will be
indexes,
adding like
except
the
they have the
columns
multi-key
like
values, and the
table
composite
ABC.
index is like a plain alphabet index in a
so I
dictionary,
create
but
an
covering
index on that.
2 or more
Mm-hmm.
letters in this case, I would
3
like to
columns
say.
A, comma B, comma
And
C.
then utilizing them in the
Mm-hmm.
real-time integration environments and try to use them.
Now in where clause I want to use the index. So which column combination I can use?
So basically, you can actually
Where
use
that
the
index will work,
composite
where it
column
won't work.
and the where clause, I would
If
like
I
to
say
say, and
where
then
A equal
specify
to
the various constraints
1
inside that, and also apart from that, the
and
right or
B
the
equal to
multi-order
1
columns,
and
which
B
can be
equal to
used, and
1.
apart from that, the composite
Okay.
index can be used in this
Or
case for the
if I
composite key,
say
and
A
also use
equal
it
to
for
1,
the
C equal to 3.
queries, and also use the
So what are
SQL
the
queries for
different
the
scenarios
application,
where
and
it will
also
work
for the performance tuning, and
and
also
where it won't
how
work?
the right order column can be used for the full table scan in this case, I would like to say. So this is how the whole thing will actually
Okay.
work.
So in this case, like basically, you'll be using like index of a tables like fields ABC, and like the record will be sorted first on A and then B, and then this comes to in like
Have you
index.
used something? What have you used something? You just tell me whether it will work or not.
Sorry.
It will work only for the 2 columns because the
right now,
composite
will it
column
work?
has to specify the
Yeah,
execution
it
time
will
for the
only
table,
work for like 2
and it should be
columns
fast enough
because a
for a small
composite column
development
has
environment.
to
It will
specify
cause
the
serious
execution time
performance
for
for the
the
production
table, and it
environment, and
should
this is
be
not a
fast
best
enough for
practice
a
which is
small
recommended by
development
the users, I would
environment,
like to say in this
variable
case.
cost like
Are you saying, just a second, are you saying that it won't work for where A equal to 1, B equal to 2, and C equal to 3?
It will only work for one
sorry.
because that is how the composite query will
It
have a
will
particular
it will
employee which will take the
Where
full
A
primary
equal
key
to
into
1, B
account. So
equal
that
to
is the
2.
it will
subsidiary
work
ID column,
it will
and
work
then the
for that
execution plan
like
reveals that the
because
database
like
does
it
not
is a
use the
composite
index. Instead,
query
it
like
performs
which have
table
a
access.
particular
So
No,
as a result, the
I
database
don't
reads
need
the entire
I
table
don't
and
need
evaluates
explanation.
every
Okay.
row against
Mhm.
the where clause.
C equal to 2 and C
And
equal
then
to
the
3.
database
Will
does
it
not
work?
use the index because the concatenated index is there and the B-tree index, and then
Yeah, it
helps
will
to
work.
use the index sorted data, and then the database considers
Okay.
each
If I say
column
C
according
equal
to
to
the
3, will it
position in
work?
the index definition to sort the
Sorry,
index
what
entries, and
equal
then
to?
the column is the primary sort
C
criteria,
equal to
and the
3.
second column determines the order. If only 2 entries have the
Yes.
same value in the first column, and so on, and that is how the
Okay.
concatenated index will be actually using on the multiple columns, I would like to
Okay,
say.
so I'm done with my questions actually. Do you have any questions for me?
No, actually, like I'm unable to hear your voice. Like totally, your voice is like very difficult for me to understand. Like it was not clear.
Okay.
Okay. Like okay, what will be the next steps and expectations, and what will be the team size?
What is that? Next steps? Are you asking
Yeah.
about next?
What will be my next steps of the interview, and what are the day-to-day activities, and what will be my team size?
Your structure in this project, I don't know if background is given to you.
Sorry.
It is mainly
Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Yes.
see, this project is about stock market surveillance. So we get different news stories and we get stock market data. So based on that data, we determine if anything is going right or wrong in stock market. If some kind of fraud is happening, insider trading is happening. So one thing is Angular and GWT. Backend is Postgres, Java, Scala, Python, Elasticsearch. All big data jobs are in Spark, and everything runs on Amazon infrastructure, AWS.
Okay.
So this interview is actually mainly for role of developer.
Okay.
Here developers basically they keep on doing different tasks actually.
Okay.
So practice for sometimes for some Spark. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So what will be my next steps of interview?
Next steps would be I will send feedback to Anil, who is manager,
Okay.
and then Anil will get back to your vendor.
Okay. Anil, right?
Yeah, Anil.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
The vendor was already there, right? You had the call, I thought.
Ayan, right? Anil or Ayan?
No, Anil will get back to
Okay.
your vendor.
Okay.
And
Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.